Did you know that 87% of people who train look exactly the same as they did 6 months ago? Yeah, that's a real statistic, not something I pulled out of my perfectly sculpted posterior. And if you're watching this while flexing in your phone camera, wondering why you still look like you just discovered protein powder yesterday, congratulations, you're probably in that 87%. But don't worry, I'm about to fix your tragic gym life with a formula so simple that even your cousin who thinks creatine is a type of pasta could understand it. You train hard, you eat your sad little chicken breasts, you even bought those overpriced pre-workout supplements that taste like liquid regret. Yet somehow, your physique has all the definition of a bowl of oatmeal. Well, buckle up, because you're missing the real formula. 5 pillars that separate people who actually grow from people who just really enjoy expensive gym memberships. This isn't about having godlike genetics or injecting yourself with whatever Chris Hemsworth's trainer whispers about in dark corners. This is about training smart. Pillar 1. Stop training like you're playing workout roulette. Before we dive into sets, reps, or whatever fancy exercise you saw on TikTok that promises to give you Thor's biceps in 48 hours, we need to address the elephant in the room. You need an actual plan. Shocking? I know. Here's the plot twist that's going to blow your mind. Almost everything works if you actually stick to it longer than your last relationship. Full body routines? They work. Push-pull legs? Also works. Old school bro splits where you dedicate entire days to biceps like it's a religious ceremony, surprisingly, that works too. But wait, you're thinking, if everything works, why do I still look like I'm smuggling pool noodles under my shirt? Because you have the attention span of a caffeinated squirrel, that's why. You need structure. Not just a random collection of exercises you feel like doing based on what equipment isn't occupied by that guy who's been curling in the squat rack since the Clinton administration. Structure means knowing ahead of time what you're doing, how many sets and reps, and how long you're resting. Not just wandering around the gym like a lost tourist hoping inspiration strikes. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Muscle growth is slower than your internet connection. You won't see results this week, next week, or probably even next month. So if your training plan changes more often, your results will be about as consistent as a weather forecast. Stop hopping from program to program. Pick one plan and commit to it, because structure beats whatever random nonsense your gym bro told you in the locker room. Pillar 2. Your form is probably terrible, and that's why you're still weak. Let's have an uncomfortable conversation about your technique. You know that thing you're doing that looks like a cross between a seizure and interpretive dance? That's not a bicep curl, that's a cry for help. You can have the most scientifically perfect program designed by people with more letters after their name than a pharmacy, but if your form looks like you're trying to fight off an invisible swarm of bees, your gains will be as disappointing as your dating life. Think about it. You don't learn to drive by closing your eyes and hoping for the best. You don't learn to cook by throwing random ingredients in a pot and calling it creativity. So why do you think you can learn to lift by copying whatever that meat mountain in the corner is doing? Here's what happens when you skip the basics. Sure, you might see some growth at first. Your beginner gains will kick in because your muscles are so confused by the chaos that they grow out of pure self-defense. But then, faster than you can say plateau, everything stops. Your biceps haven't grown in 5 months, your bench press is stuck at the same pathetic number, and you're standing there wondering if maybe you need to switch to that new supplement that costs more per serving than a Starbucks latte. The answer is mastering execution before you worry about impressing anyone. 10 perfect reps with lighter weight will build more muscle than 10 reps that look like you're having an argument with gravity. Pillar 3. If you're not suffering, you're not growing. All right, you've got your structured plan, your form is cleaner than a monk's browser history, but now we get to the part that separates the people who actually transform their bodies from the people who just really enjoy taking gym selfies. Intensity. You can have the perfect program, technique so flawless it makes angels weep, and all the motivation of a Disney protagonist, but if you're cruising through your workouts like you're on a leisurely stroll through the park, you're basically just paying for an expensive place to sweat. Muscle doesn't grow because you showed up. It doesn't grow because you went through the motions. It grows because you gave it a reason to panic and adapt. You need to make your muscles think, oh no, this lunatic is serious. We better get bigger or we're all going to die. Now, I'm not saying you need to scream like you're summoning ancient demons on every rep, or collapse dramatically after every set like you're auditioning for a soap opera. But if you leave the gym feeling like you just finished a relaxing yoga session, you probably trained about as hard as a sloth on sedatives. Real intensity means getting uncomfortable. It means when every fiber of your being is screaming to stop, you look that weakness in the eye and say, "Not today, Satan," and grind out 2 more reps anyway. So the next time you're in the gym, ask yourself this crucial question. Are you actually training, or are you just going through an elaborate ritual that makes you feel productive while accomplishing absolutely nothing? Pillar 4, progressive overload, aka how not to ego lift yourself into the hospital. Time to talk about something you've heard more times than your mom asking when you're gonna find a girlfriend. Progressive overload. More weight, more reps, more volume, more everything, all the time, forever. Sounds simple, right? But here's where most people turn into cavemen. Me, lift, heavy thing. Heavy thing, make me strong. More heavy thing, make me more strong. And then they wonder why their shoulders sounds like bubble wrap and their form looks like a drunk flamingo trying to do calculus. Here's the plot twist that'll save your joints and your dignity. Progressive overload only works if you've mastered everything else first. If your technique is trash, adding weight just makes you better at doing things wrong. If your intensity is weaker than gas station coffee, more reps won't save you. If your program has less structure than a reality TV show, you'll just be spinning your wheels while going nowhere fast. You can't skip steps and expect long-term results. Sure, you might grow a bit at first because your body doesn't know any better, but then you'll hit a wall so hard it'll make your head spin and you won't know why you're stuck. Smart overload isn't about making dramatic jumps like you're trying to set world records every week. It's about small, consistent improvements. Add 1 rep, increase the weight by the smallest amount possible, rest 10 seconds less. These tiny changes, repeated over weeks and months, add up to massive differences. How do you do this without losing your mind? Track your progress like your life depends on it. Log your lifts. Watch your numbers climb slowly while your muscles grow steadily. It's not as exciting as posting gym selfies, but it actually works. Pillar 5, consistency, aka why showing up matters more than your feelings. Here's the big one, the pillar that separates people who look good in tank tops from people who look like they could bench press a small car. Showing up again and again and again, even when you don't feel like it. Training hard for 1 week? That's cute. Training consistently for 5 months? Now we're getting somewhere. But training consistently for years while everyone around you quits and starts new hobbies? That's what creates the kind of physique that makes people wonder what you're hiding under those clothes. Because here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. Nothing we've talked about matters. Not the perfect plan, not the flawless form, not the intensity, not the progressive overload if you don't stick with it. Results take time. Not Instagram time, not TikTok time, not I've been doing this for 3 whole weeks time. Real time. Months. Years. The kind of commitment that makes people uncomfortable because it requires actually changing your lifestyle instead of just trying a new workout for a few weeks. But here's the beautiful part. If you're consistent, results aren't just possible, they're inevitable. Your body has no choice but to adapt to the consistent stress you're putting it under. It's like compound interest, but for your muscles. Your action plan, because information without action is just entertainment. So there you have it, 5 pillars that will transform you from someone who trains into someone who actually grows. 1.
Get a real plan and stick to it longer than you've stuck to anything. 2. Master your form before you worry about impressing anyone. 3. Train with intensity that makes your muscles question their life choices. 4. Progress intelligently without ego lifting yourself into physical therapy. 5. Show up consistently even when motivation abandons you like everyone else. This isn't rocket science, but it's also not easy. If it were easy, 87% of people would be spinning their wheels in the gym looking exactly the same as they did last year. The choice is yours. Keep doing what you're doing and get the same disappointing results, or actually implement these pillars and watch your body transform into something that makes people ask what you're taking. Your future Jack self is waiting. Don't keep him waiting forever.